Good morning and welcome to Nilla South. I'm excited as you join me today. We'll begin our meal prep series. So I'm going to go through some recipes with you that we kind of rotate throughout the month for meal prep. And really, a lot of this you're able to, I would say you're going to have better ingredients and healthier food, but also you don't have to worry about so much about chemicals and ingredients that maybe are not healthy for your kids or your family. But also with the economy the way that it is, everything is just so expensive. So you can avoid fast food and restaurants and things like that. And so probably you'd be able to feed your whole family with meal prep versus taking yourself and going out to eat every day. So that's kind of what this is focused on. And it really is focused on health and good eating. So I'll show you sort of what I have right here, that I'll work my way through all of this today for a meal prep. I'll probably only do 3 recipes with you guys this morning, and one is really just a prep tip. So I'll show you what this looks like. Okay, so I've been washing vegetables this morning, and these are just some of the vegetables that I will work with today, some during these videos and some at a later time. We're going to begin with a tomato basil soup, which I'm excited to share with you. This is one of the easiest recipes that I make, and it's so delicious. And I will put it in large mason jars. And okay, this is one of the easiest recipes that I make, and I'm really excited to share it with you. And I'll show you basically how I get started. You'll go ahead and take your onions. And you do not have to do a very detailed cut on anything. That's my favorite part about this recipe. And so I'm really just going to cut these in half. These are 3 peeled onions. Okay. And go ahead and put that in my pot. And then we'll get started with the tomatoes. So for this recipe today, I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tomatoes. And these, you want to use really ripe and red tomatoes for this. I find that it tastes a little bit better. And this is also very easy when you're prepping the tomatoes. I'm going to go ahead and bring my pot over here so I can just put everything straight into the pot. Okay, for the tomatoes, all you really want to do is get that end off. Okay. Don't spend a lot of time fancy cutting because you just don't really need to do that. And then I'm going to cut them in 4. This is such a fast and delicious recipe. Really is so easy. There are tons of antioxidants in tomatoes, vitamin C, just so many good things for your health. Okay, so I'm back over here and we're about to get started on making the soup itself. Okay, so once you get right here, I'm going to go ahead and turn my stove on high heat. You really won't believe how easy this recipe is. It's an awesome recipe and it's super easy. Okay, and then I'm just going to pour. Can be kind of generous with it. That was probably about 1/3 cup of olive oil, and that'll go down to the bottom. I'm going to add some salt. Seems like a lot, but it's probably about 2 teaspoons of salt. And then I'll also add some fresh pepper. A little bit of onion powder. Probably about a tablespoon. This is not onion salt, it's onion powder. A little bit of garlic powder. Okay, this is fresh garlic that I minced up in the blender with a little bit of olive oil. So I'm going to add this, but I'll wait until a little bit later. Garlic is not really something you want to add until closer to the end of a recipe, or because it'll lose its flavor. I also have some fresh basil. I'm going to add a little bit now, but I'll also add more at the end. Oh, look, I already had the scissors. Some green leaves. And it can be a rough cut because all of this is going to go into the blender. So you don't have to spend a whole lot of time cutting. That's what makes this such an easy recipe. See how that basil's starting to flower? So I need to go out there and trim it, because if I cut it down, if you're growing basil, once it starts flowering, cut those down as soon as you see them, because it'll continue to produce a better leaf if you don't have those flowers. Looking for pretty leaves. And don't be shy with the olive oil. It's a healthy oil. So I'm probably adding another 1/4 of a cup just to allow this to start cooking down. Okay, and I'm also going to put a little Cajun seasoning, because who we are, it's what we do. What that looks like. So right here is one where you can kind of see the skin and how it's starting to come loose. And you can grab those with a fork and just pull it off if that's something you wish to do. It's not hard. I usually just leave it because it's a good source of fiber, and it's also vitamins and all that good stuff. So I just kind of leave it. Here we are, we're cooking down. Starting to get those onions they're peeling off. If you eat the Mediterranean diet, this is really an excellent recipe for that. Let this continue to cook down just a little bit longer. I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of sugar. Probably about a tablespoon in there to kind of cut the acid. And then I am going to go ahead and come in with some garlic. This is from fresh garlic cloves. They've already been blended down with olive oil. And this, when you put this in, oh my goodness, the smell is so good. Okay. And we like garlic, so I'm not going to be shy with this. Trying to get all of this green basil because I love, probably the more the better for me with the basil. It smells so good. And you can put, they do have basil, just, you know, dry basil at the store. And you can add that for sure. You don't have to buy like a basil plant. It'll taste fine. I really love fresh basil, so I usually keep a plant. But I think I have some basil in this drawer. Yep, I do right here. This is some dried basil. If you'd rather do that, I'll even add a little bit of that. You can do that. Either way, this is starting to smell absolutely divine. And the onion is kind of turning to translucent, a little clear. That's what I'm looking for. So once I get to this point, I'm getting somewhere now. Coffee, show you what we'll do next. So I'll go ahead and turn the heat off. I'm going to take, this is a glass blender, and that way it's very thick, so I believe I can load it up. So I'm just going to take this goodness and transfer it over here into this glass blender. Serve like a gourmet, like a really good, some good bread, grilled cheese. This is a good adult grilled cheese meal. See if I can fit this all. I'm making a double batch of this so we can both have this. My husband and I can both have it for lunch this week. Okay. I'll probably have to do it in 2 different batches. Okay. And then I'm going to put a little bit of juice in the blender so I have something to be able to mix it. Oh, awesome. Look at that. Okay. Then I'll go ahead and put the lid on that. See if I can get the mixer where you can see it. Come on, Betsy. Okay. Let's see if we're on that. No, we're not on it. There we go. I think we're locked now. Okay, go with a good mix. Okay. In there, and then I'll take my big pieces out back into here to finish this off. One. It'd be much easier if it's not attached, Sherry. Okay. And I'm just going back and getting all of the big pieces to mix the rest of it. Oh my goodness. The juice there. Make sure I don't miss any. Go again. Okay, so I'll go ahead and turn this heat back up to high. Let it cook down a little more. And this is about when you would want to have a taste just to see how it's coming and what it needs. Look at this. Oh my goodness, it is so good. I actually think it needs just a little more garlic, just because we like it with a lot of garlic. So I'll go ahead, just add a little more garlic. To taste for you. If you don't like a lot of garlic, you can leave it out or whatever floats your boat. And then I think I'm going to put just a little seasoned salt in here. Let that simmer. Cook a little more of that liquid out. Get it a little bit thicker. And then last but not least, gonna add just a little bit of half and half or whipping cream. It's up to you. Probably about 1/4 of a cup. Of that, I'm gonna put a little bit of both. So probably about 1/4 of a cup of half and half. And then I'll only put probably a tablespoon or 2 of the whipping cream. 1, 2. That's about 2 tablespoons of whipping cream. Give that a good mix. We'll let that cook down just a little bit more. Absolutely divine. Okay. Okay, while that cooks down just a minute, and before I plate that up and show you what it looks like, I'm going to go ahead and show you another just a healthy meal prep tip that we've been making these little boxes. And so I wanted to share this with you because I think that they're very handy and they're good and they're easy to make. And so even though I love to bake and I love to cook and I'll still be, make some of the same recipes that I'm used to. Um, I, I really have been focusing on trying to also find some just really healthy options. I was dealing with some headaches and some health issues, and I just kind of decided a couple of months ago that I think so many things are related back to inflammation and our health and just what we put in our body. And I'd put this off for such a long time, just, eating right. So a couple of months ago, we really shifted to eating more like healthy options, not a strict Mediterranean diet, but definitely probably closer in a lot of ways to that. Just more whenever you're grocery shopping, I say the aisles on the end, the vegetables and the fruit and things like that. Have really been making a focus on those things, not eating processed foods, trying to eat things from our own garden. And so with that, I've actually enjoyed it, but I have just have to admit that it has made a really big difference in the way that I feel and my health and really the headache. So for me, it was a lesson for me. Like I didn't really understand just how much food can help be part of your cure. So for me to avoid, different medicines and things like that, that was something I wanted to try first. So some of the recipes you'll see. Sorry, I'm getting out of the camera because I have to wash my hands. Some of the recipes that you'll see do have that healthy twist, and it really is something that we're trying to do. Even though I still cook the good food, you'll see some of those things, but we are trying to focus a little bit more on natural foods and healthy recipes. Okay, so these are the things. I showed you my counter earlier, but tonight I have these green beans. You see them over there. I have these. We'll be making some meatloaf with homemade mashed potatoes and green beans. So it's all really good food. But these, my neighbor gave me these. I'm definitely not wasting these delicious green beans. And I'll be making a Mediterranean salad. But I want to show you these quick little snack packs and just how easy they are. And if you go to Sam's or Costco or whatever, they will have the little box packs. And that's kind of where the inspiration for this came from. But those are so expensive and there's hardly anything in them. And so we just quit buying them because I want to say there was I had looked, it was like $12 and there were not very many of them and they were so, there wasn't a whole lot in them. So I just started making these and they've been a hit. So I'll show you what we do for this. And it's not really any cooking to it. So I'll just take some cheese right here. And I'm going to cube it up. Okay, and then you just take the cheese and put it on one side of the box. I usually do the smaller side. These are just in the food prep aisle. I think you can get them Walmart, really just anywhere that has the food prep containers. So I'll put a little bit of cheddar cheese right here. These are really great for a mid-morning snack, like whenever you don't have time to heat something up or whatever at work, but you're hungry. You don't need a ton of cheese in them, so it's really filling. A little bit goes a long ways. Okay. And I think this block of cheese was maybe like $4, so it wasn't a lot. And then I buy the walnuts and the pecans in bulk at Sam's. I think the walnuts are really inexpensive, like maybe $10 or $11 for a huge bag. And they don't have salt or anything like that. And then I do the same. The pecans are a couple dollars more, but I buy them in bulk in really large batches. And I'll put the bag in the freezer. So just put what we could use realistically in here, and then I put the bag in the freezer, and they'll last a really long time. Okay, so I'm going to do some with walnuts, and I'll do some with pecans, and maybe even a mix. You can just kind of do whatever you want. And I'm just going to load these up. And walnuts are so good for you. They really have a ton of health benefits. So read about that. It's a good thing. Okay, and then I have some whole pecans. So I'll put a few of those in each one. And then I'm going to top that off. You could do raisins, or I'm doing cranberries, any type of sweet dried fruit. And you don't want to put a whole lot of that because it does have a lot of sugars, but it really does make it kind of pop when you're eating this as a snack. So I have some fresh cranberries. I buy these in bulk too at Sam's. So they'll last a long, a bag will last us like a year. Okay. Put a little bit of cranberries. So I know cheese, you can't, you shouldn't have like a whole lot of cheese, but the rest of this is pretty much just whole foods in their whole form. So this is a pretty good snack. And it's inexpensive. Way less than buying the pre-made little tiny box things, for sure. Okay. Stack those up. So here we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 snacks that we'll be able to use for this week. So I'll put that off to the side. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and take this tomato soup off of the stove. Give that a good stir. We can plate that up. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be so good. We have a ladle here. And then I'm going to put just a little fresh basil on top. Okay. And we'll give this a quick taste just to see how it came out. It's gonna be hot. So this is our tomato basil soup. So simple and so easy. Make it about the soup. It's very hot. Show you what it looks like close up. Oh yeah, that is so good. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I will link it in the description, and I hope you and your family are able to make this and enjoy it and possibly serve it with some really good grilled cheese. Sandwiches as we head into winter, well, into fall. I'll start making a little bit more soup. So just wanted to share this recipe with you. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great day.